Hey, everybody, it's Friday night, and that means another episode of the Asea 5. I'm Dr. Maureen Hayes, coming to you from Galveston, Texas, and I'm accompanied by the regulars, Jiminy and Glenn, normally from San Antonio, Texas, now down at Big Bend, hiking and having a good time down there. Jim is our big money man, and Ann is our personal trainer and nutritionist. And then, of course, we have Dr. Lee Osler from Washington State, the author of both Redox Matters and Healthy Matters, and our resident NRF2 expert that we love to go to with all of our hard questions. And tonight we are honored and absolutely blessed to have a very special episode for you. We're joined by our president and COO, Scott Aldridge from headquarters, who has brought his entire team that formulated our new cell performance products. So this is very exciting. You're going to get some incredible science. We have the scientists who are behind this. We'll find out why they picked the ingredients that they picked, and they'll explain a little bit more about Redox and what it means to be powered by Redox. So without further ado, Scott Aldridge, come on and take it away.
Excellent. Thanks, Maureen. It's great to be here tonight with everyone. It's a real honor. We're really grateful for the technology that we have, that we can share a message all around the world, and especially here in North America. Thank you for the invite. We're excited to be here. I want to introduce the team tonight that's going to be presenting some very important information. One of the things that we're trying to do is make sure that everybody has a very clear understanding of the redox signaling technology and how that actually relates to our cell performance products. So tonight we're going to be joined by two of our PhDs, Dr. Kurt Stickley, Dr. Andrea Borges, and also from part of our team, our lead formulator, Henry Lopez, and our director of engineering, Hunter Dean. So you got a great team tonight. We're going to go over some really important information. Hopefully everybody finds it useful. One of our goals is to make sure that all of you that are sharing the message and working out in our field, that you have many points of contact and reference with the corporate office. So I'm joining you tonight actually from my office at corporate, and really happy to kick this meeting off. So I'm going to turn it over to our science team, and they've got a great presentation for you tonight, and I hope you enjoy it. So thank you very much.
So today, we're very excited to talk about three themes that keeps coming up, and that is about Redox, the Asea cell signaling supplement, and Asea cell performance, and in particular, how are they different? And we're going to hit some key words that we can always use to when we explain cell performance or cell signaling, that will make it easier to spread our message throughout the field. That's really the intent of this. And let's go ahead and go here. But before we do that, we want to start with, saying how oxygen in general, or oxidative species, are sometimes will have a lot of bad rep out there, right? We always hear about antioxidants and we want to diminish oxidants in general, but in reality, oxidants or oxygen, for example, is necessary for life. Without it, we would not be here right now. And in fact, when oxygen was introduced into our Earth, we were able to create the redox cycle. And with it, we were able to create, energy, and that's how we, in this cellular respiration process. So it's very vital that we have oxygen and oxidative species. And here we have next, we have redox, and you can go ahead, Hunter.
Great, thanks, Henry. So one thing that's important to realize is, and Henry touched on this a little bit, about how we've heard the benefits of antioxidants. But one of the things that we really want to illustrate with this presentation is the cycle of redox is what's responsible for life, not antioxidation or reduction alone or oxidation alone, but they work together in a cycle. But before we can understand that cycle, we need to understand what is redox. And so throughout this presentation, we're going to be giving you guys specific keywords and terms. So look out for those, because those are terms that are kind of easy to understand terms and words that you guys can use when people ask, what is redox? The goal of this presentation is to kind of give you guys some tools in the form of keywords and concepts that are easy to understand and easy to present. So look out for those. As we look at redox, redox specifically is just an abbreviation of reduction and oxidation. Now, what that is, Henry, if you go to the next slide for me, or this one here, this is a really good quote. It's a simple quote, but it is actually very scientifically profound. It says, "Life is nothing but electrons looking for a place to rest." Henry, if you go to the next slide for me, we'll talk about what that means. When we talk about electrons, we talk about a very small, negatively charged particle that cannot be broken down any further. And these particles have a lot of energy. They're moving around the atom and molecule nearly at the speed of light. The other thing we need to evaluate when we talk about redox is electron transfer. Electrons transfer from atom to atom or molecule to molecule in order to reduce their energy. Now, what do I mean by that? What I'd like to do for you guys is kind of give you a little bit of an analogy, a little comparison. I'd like you to look at this image and imagine the ball on top of the hill. We're going to consider our electrons like that ball. If we were to give that ball a nudge at the top of the hill, it would begin to roll down the hill spontaneously to the lowest point. And the reason it does that is because there is a higher potential energy at the top of the hill. The ball has stored more energy at the top of the hill. And like that quote said on the previous slide, just like electrons, things in the universe, things in this galaxy want to find the lowest energy level and the lowest resting place. So when you give that ball a little nudge, it rolls automatically to the bottom of the hill because that's the place of lowest energy. And so when we think about electrons, why do electrons transfer? Electrons transfer because they are at a high energy state, and just like the ball, they want to be at a low energy state. Henry, could you go next for me? So here we see a transfer of an electron from one atom to another. And this is very simply redox. Redox is the transfer of an electron. Now, the reduction is an atom giving up an electron, and oxidation is an atom gaining an electron. Now, why does it transfer? Let's go back to that. Just like the ball rolling down the hill, that electron wants to go from a high energy state to a low energy state. So using this knowledge of redox and electron transfer, we can discuss how do we make signaling molecules? How do we create these signaling molecules from the raw ingredients? So on this graph, you guys will see we start with NaCl, sodium chloride, or salt, and we dissolve that salt into a very pure water to create saline. Now, I'd like to ask a question is why does the salt dissolve? Why does salt dissolve when it's put in water? Well, that's because in water, salt's lowest energy state is dissolved rather than solid. And so we can see that by it rolling down the hill to saline. And now we've created a resting place for those molecules, for those electrons. But we want to create something that's going to be able to perform redox in the body. And so what we do is via electrolysis, using our electrolysis or patented electrolysis process, we provide energy. We push that ball up the hill. And we not only push it back up to the same hill, we push it up to a higher hill, to molecules that have a higher energy than sodium chloride or just regular salt. And so we provide that energy through electrolysis to push those electrons and those atoms into a higher energy state. And that energy state is what we call a redox potential. And it's that increase in energy or that increase in redox potential that is used within the cell to create a signal and begin cell signaling. That increase in energy is what allows us to create a signal from within the cell and begin that cell signaling cascade. Go ahead, Henry.
Okay, so can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, So we will talk now about cell signaling. And just to make a big word short, when I say ARS, I'm referring to Asea Redox supplement. Okay, so we make it a shorter word as ARS. So Hunter explained about cell signaling, and now we want to know how does ARS work in our body, how it might be working. So what we believe is that it happens in different steps. And it all started when we drink those redox molecules. These molecules, they start to be absorbed in the mouth and will continue throughout the digestive system, meaning stomach, intestines, and these redox molecules, they are absorbed because they are very, very tiny molecules. And as soon as they are absorbed, they start to send signals throughout the body by non-targeted cascading effect. And we're going to explain a little bit more about specifically this item number 3, the signal sent throughout the body by non-target cascading effect. But first, we need to understand what is absorption, right? When I say that ARS or the redox molecules are absorbed, what does it mean? So the redox molecules, they are absorbed by the cells present in the mouth, stomach, and intestines, as I mentioned. And it means that if we see this animation, we'll see that there is this small bubbles. These small bubbles, they are just representation of the redox molecules. And then we have the upper part, which is outside the cell, and the lower part, which is inside the cell. And we have this kind of fence in between. This fence we call cell membrane, and it's like a barrier that separates the cell from the outside world of the cell and the inside world of the cell. So absorption means that the molecules will enter the cell, will cross this barrier without permission. They don't need to knock the door. They don't need permission because they're very, very tiny molecules. They will just cross this fence, this barrier that we call cell membrane. Again, without permission, and they will just cross it. Once they are inside the cells, we can go to the next slide. Please, Henry. Yeah. Once they are inside the cells, they will trigger a response that will produce other types of molecules as a response. And these other molecules will exit the cells, will travel through the body, through mainly our blood, and will play a role somewhere in our body. They will act in different parts of the body in a non-targeted way. So this means that the signals, or we can call the signals communication, they are not specific. So one cell sends signal to another. These signals travel all the body through the blood and will stop where it is needed. Again, I should say that this is not specific. And this is how our cells communicate with each other throughout the body. So basically what ARS does, it flips the switch on. So the moment we drink it, it triggers a sequence of events. So one cell signaling to another. And this sequence of events we call cascade effect. That's when one cell sends signals to another, when one cell communicates to another. in a way that this signal travels through our body to find a place where it's needed. And why it does that? Because these molecules will find a way to bring overall health to our body. And again, we need to remember that it's not targeted. So it will go wherever it's needed. If it's needed in the brain, it will go to the brain. It will play a role in the brain. If it's needed in the liver or in the food, they will act in those places. So our body, it depends on redox to survive. Many, many signals are needed. And there are constant and very dynamic process in our body that induces, oh, Henry, can you go to the next slide, please? That induces oxidation and reduction. And as a consequence of cell communication, we have oxidation and reduction. And the combination of these two processes of oxidation and reduction is the balance, meaning that our body and our cells need oxidation and reduction to bring balance, or what we call homeostasis, to our body, or even to the cells that are not balanced in somewhere in our body. So the balance that involves the equilibrium of oxidants and antioxidants are called redox homeostasis. And this is how we close the redox cycle of life and understand how both oxidation and reduction are important to bring balance and homeostasis to our body.
Andrea, I'm just going to add something real quick. So, it's really interesting you're saying that, right? Because a lot of individuals, when they take ARS, for the first time, you always hear different stories, right? About I felt this or I felt that. There's so many different effects people will feel, and it all has to do with this whole balance, right? Because some people may be more imbalanced in certain aspects, whether, me or someone else or Hunter, we may be imbalanced in certain areas. So this really explains, why we all feel the different effects.
Correct, Henry. That's why different people feels different effects of ARS, because it's not targeted. It's not for the eye. It's not for the mouth. It's not for the muscle. It's for your whole body balance, whole body homeostasis. So wherever it's needed, it will go there and will play their role.
Perfect.
Okay, so one of the things we wanted to do with this presentation was give you some cell signaling keywords. Okay, so these are things you can use in your business to talk to other associates, but we wanted to get everybody on the same page to have a sort of common ground that we can talk about. And I think as you've learned now that your cells are pretty complicated. They're not just unconscious cells just hanging around. And in fact, at this moment, your cells are sending and receiving millions of messages in the form of chemical signaling molecules. Okay, so I'm going to use the word chemical signaling molecules. So as Hunter had presented, right, we're going to take salt. We're doing our electrolysis, and we put energy into the salt and the water, and that gives us our redox product. So as you can see with the cascading effect, right, these cells are actually, when we ingest the ARS, which I'll define as Asea redox supplement if we haven't done that already, but it allows these cells to be switched on, okay? And basically through this process, it's all about absorption. Absorption through the mouth, through the stomach, through the intestines. And we are working with various universities to better understand this absorption and the cascading effect of these non-specific events, right? So Now, what we always talk about now is homeostasis. It's a balance. I want to define that for you. Homeostasis is a self-regulating process by which biological systems, meaning your body, maintain stability while adjusting to external conditions. So I hope that I can repeat that if you want, right? It's a self-regulating process in the body that allows the system to maintain stability while adjusting to external conditions. What are those external conditions, right? When we take Asea, we put a redox supplement into our mouth and we turn on these switches through the absorption. And again, I want to say that it's non-specific, but there have been many good outcomes with this product and many testimonials. So as we were thinking about this, and Asea ARS has been a great product for us, but we've been thinking, as was mentioned earlier in the presentation, redox is really a big umbrella. So when we look at a fire, right, just a burning fire around the campfire, that's redox, right? That's oxygen and wood burning. And if you take an apple and watch it turn brown, again, that's redox. Okay, so we started to think about what we know about ARS and where we could take redox to other products within the company. Okay, so gene regulation. Okay, what gene regulation is, it's a process by which the instructions in our DNA are converted into functional products such as proteins, okay, maybe hormones. But we're going to use the redox principles, redox reagents, so to speak, and we're going to manage gene regulation. And gene regulation is a tightly regulated process in the body that allows the cell to respond to the changing environment. So again, we're taking more than just ARS and we're adding other compounds, which we're going to see as cell performance. And we'll use those for our redox principles. Cytoprotection, cell protection. Okay, this is very interesting. We've been using this principle in some of our new cosmetics. So cell protection, it's a process by which, okay, chemical compounds provide protection to the cells against harmful agents. So when you put your cosmetics on your skin, it protects the cells from UV light and things of that nature. Another redox principle we're looking for is adjust and recover, resilience. So as we all get older, right, our cells have a tendency to not want to bounce back like they used to, and we can use redox principles and ingredients to help and adjust, recover, and keep resilience within the cell. Adaptive responses. Okay, we can use redox to sort of train cells to have an adaptive response to what we're doing, right? So we can give redox products that we ingest, and what you're going to find out is we digest, right? Ingest and digest. So that's a little different principle than we've been doing in the past, right? We've been talking about cell performance, but now we're moving over to cell signaling. Now we're moving to cell performance. So this is where we lead into cell performance.
Dr. Kirk, before you move into cell performance, if you don't mind my backing up just a little bit for the listeners that are on here who maybe are hearing this for the very first time and maybe are a little bit lost about what redox signaling molecules are and why we're talking about them. And let me just say that, you know, we have a lot of scientific people on here. We have doctors and PhDs. These are not medical products. They're not meant to treat, cure, prevent, diagnose anything. What we're doing is replenishing these molecules that we have in every cell of our body that get out, as Dr. Andrea and Dr. Kurt were saying, they get out of balance. And so we're bringing them back into balance. We're replenishing them. We're fixing any deficit so that our cells are able to do their job better. So it's all about the cell and how the cell is performing. And when you give the cell the tools it needs, we often see pretty miraculous things happen in the body because the body has innate wisdom in order to be able to heal itself. So thank you so much for letting me interrupt you real quick. I just want to make sure that everybody, people who are just hearing it for the first time, kind of understand what we're talking about. So thank you, Dr. Kurt.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Kurt, for that. This leads up to new products, cell performance. And in fact, I feel really great right now. I took my mind, Redox Mind, so I've been prepared. So cell performance here, when you take them, what's going to start happening, which again, remember we were talking about cell signaling earlier, how it's absorbed in the mouth. What has to happen with cell performance ingredients, compounds, they have to be digested, right? And that's going to start in the mouth and stomach. The compounds in cell performance aren't little tiny molecules like you'll find in the blue bottle. So they definitely have to be digested. So once these ingredients are digested, they have to be transported into, the bloodstream, where they're going to be delivered to different parts of your body where they're needed, right? Certain parts of your body will actually, receive these compounds and will trigger results, whether that's in the brain, right? Some are more related to mood. So that's a big difference for their absorption from cell signaling products, right? And digestion from cell performance. Let's go ahead here and carry on. As we saw earlier, the cascade effect, right, with cell signaling, the big difference here is though, cell performance have targeted results, okay? So what we are doing here, we're saying, well, you know what, we need to have, help with our memory. So we're gonna target certain areas of the body to get these results, right? So you can think of it like a boost, right? ARS is providing an overall effect, but we need to boost, we need to excel in certain parts of our life, right? We can all be, we can all say we want to excel, whether that is to have more energy, or a better memory, or just be in a better mood. And as you can see this right here, the highlights, we're not going through a cascade effect. It's just going into little clusters here and there. And that's what cell performance is going to be doing, targeted results. So the way you can think of this, the cell performance ingredients, remember we saw actually with cell signaling that the molecules, they're so tiny, so they're able to cross this fence, this cell membrane. But these ones are larger compounds, right? These nutrients need to basically attach itself to a receptor. Think about it like a lock and a key. The ingredients in cell performance are going to be the keys, and these right here will be the locks. So when they attach themselves in here, they can unlock all these different pathways in your body, and they're needed to do so to cause these intracellular responses. And once, you know what though, I wanted to say something about this too. A question that comes up a lot is, well, the cell performance has ingredients that are found everywhere, right? Let's look at the mind, for example. It has an NMN. But the thing is, and I'll give you kind of a little story here to tell you what I want to say. So I gave my daughter a $5 bill the other day for doing her chores. And then I come upstairs and I find that she had cut up the $5 bill into tiny little pieces. And I was a little upset because I was like, I just gave you a $5 bill for your chores. But to her defense, she doesn't know what she can do with a $5 bill yet. She doesn't know that she can buy things or the power that it is. This is what we're doing with Redox technology. People are using these ingredients, but they are not aware of what they can do with it or the power that we can use with redox processes. So we're definitely the first ones to be doing this. And I'm really excited that we're on the forefront here. Anyways, here, Hunter, you can go ahead.
Great, thanks, Henry. So Henry is able to touch a little bit about how the cell performance and cell signaling products differ on how they interact with the cell. We have a graphic here on the screen that I'd like to explain a little bit. We talked about that cell cascade or that signaling cascade, and we had that graphic of the cells switching on throughout the system. This is a similar representation. You know, the ARS, that blue bottle that we all know and love, starts the signal at signal 1. Signal 1 transfers and creates signal 2. Signal 2 cascades into signal 3. And we have a complete cascade. We see that cascade down the system of different signals. And so you see that kind of how we had talked about replenishing those signals using ARS. Each one of those signals perform a different function in the body. And so while ARS contributes to overall health and wellness through this cascading effect of kind of firing off all the different signals in your body, we kind of used redox principles that Dr. Kurt went over to develop the cell performance line and key in on specific signals to achieve targeted outcomes. So while we see that cascade effect of the signaling molecules from the blue bottle, with cell performance, for example, signal 4 may be specific to functioning with the mind. Signal 3 may be mood regulation. These are things that we key in on utilizing those redox principles to boost and target specific outcomes using those redox principles that really boost those specific outcomes rather than the overall health and wellness cascade that you get from the blue bottle, from ARS. So you're achieving a targeted outcome using redox and using the same redox principles that led to that overall health and wellness from cell signaling via the cell signaling cascade.
Perfect. Okay, and sorry I'm so close to my screen, you guys. I don't know, can you guys hear me okay? Okay.
Better.
Yeah, okay. So let's just recap real quick the differences between cell signaling and the words that we really want to latch onto when we're talking about it to make this a little bit simpler when explaining the differences between cell signaling and cell performance. Cell signaling, we have tiny little molecules, right? They don't need permission to enter where they need to go. Cell performance are large molecules. So they actually need to be digested, they need to be broken down, and they need to go into a receptor to start a reaction. Cell signaling, we have absorption, right? That's going to just, again, go straight to, and then cell performance digestion, and then cell signaling has that cascading effect, whereas cell performance is that lock and key effect. And cell signaling is overall health and wellness, whereas cell performance will give us targeted results. And that's so far what we have. Maureen, is there anything?
No, I actually love that. You know, I think this explains very well why we see the different responses that we do, because, you know, I've not ever heard that verbiage before about the redox signaling molecules not being targeted. We always talk about they go where they're needed. Kind of sounds magical, you know, like a little pixie dust or something. But this explains it perfectly, why they're just bringing things back into balance. And then with the cell performance, you know, we need the receptors, they need to be digested, and they have specific things. But if you don't mind, Henry or the team, you know, there are things that come up all the time. And if you don't mind, very popular today. If you don't mind just taking a few minutes maybe and going through the different cell performance products and hitting on the key ingredients and why you chose them. I know I know that could take an hour in and of itself. So I'm looking for the Reader's Digest version, but just kind of to hit upon those special ingredients in each one. So I think that would be really helpful for our audience.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. The cell performance. So the key ingredients, I mean, the nice thing here, what we did with Andrea, Dr. Borges, we actually looked at every single ingredient we used in cell performance to make sure that it has sound scientific literature in its involvement in redox reactions. Also, what we did, we looked at what synergistic effects the ingredients would have within each other. For example, you look at the energy, it has guarana, L-theanine, alpina galanga, and that's actually a very nice mix right there, because a lot of times individuals, when they take an energy product, they get all amped up, right? But then they have this crash and they feel even worse than they did before. So by having these ingredients working together, you actually eliminate these negative effects that you can see, right, from all that stress that could cause from the high caffeine amounts. And also including ingredients within it that are going to be healthy for you, right? So it's nice to know that I'm getting more energy while also helping my body, you know, protecting my body with those polyphenols as well. I guess, I don't know if Red Bull could say that. I mean, no offense to Red Bull. But, and then we also have, for example, the mind, which has ingredients such as NMN and phosphatidylserine, cognivia. These are ingredients that, again, will be working together to help increase that focus. And these branded ingredients we are using actually in these products are really unique as well. Take Cognivia, for example. That's a blend of 2 oils, Spanish and garden. And it's actually a first of its kind where they actually have Spanish sage oil in it. Because usually, you know, it's hard to put that in a powder, but they figured out how to put it in a powder form. And the benefits of both are incredible. And then you have the mood with, you know, you have your ashwagandha, you have your GABA, you have your Afron, which again, all have such great studies behind them as well. And, you know, I don't know about Marina, I know we were talking in Tikana and you love the effects that you feel from these, right? I mean, do you have any personal experiences you would like to share from these ingredients yourself? Or products?
I think, yeah, you know, personally, I think we go around the group. I personally love the energy and the mind, and I like to mix them together because I like to be high energy. And so I didn't really think mood was going to be my product. But I happened to take it one afternoon, and I'll tell you what, you guys, because other people were talking about what great effects they were getting from it. And it just kind of chills you down. It allows you to get better sleep at night. You know, the GABA, the ashwagandha, you know, just kind of de-stress you. But I'll tell you, the other day I had some projects I had to get done, and I'm a terrible procrastinator. So I thought, I wonder what will happen if I take 2 energy together. Y'all, I got so much done. I mean, it was, I didn't feel over the top. I didn't feel jittery. I didn't feel wired. I just felt productive, and it felt really good. So yeah, I love these products. You know, good job, guys. They're home runs, every one of them. So yeah, I'd like for my cohorts to come on, because I think, you know, Jim Glenn is melting in front of us. I don't know which one he's using, but I need to double up on that. And I think probably all of us can share some great stories with these. So thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. We absolutely love all 3 of them. I was really impressed at conference when you brought up the criteria and making them and what things you expected, you know, before you brought them out. So I do love that. And I don't know if y'all, when you put these formulas together, if you ever thought in the beginning to mix them, but of course, like Maureen said, I mean, we're at Big Bend, Texas. We climbed between 2 days combined 33,000 steps, but we doubled up on mind, and we did mind and energy when we woke after our redox signaling. We lathered Renew 28. We did our climb, and then we did our second round. And it is amazing what it does for workouts. We're very active people, and it does, as I studied it, it does play a part. We're not claiming weight loss. We're just saying the body has the ability to heal itself. And it has been neat to see Jim, when he first started this, on the samples y'all sent in April, he was dropping some weight in the first 15 days. So that was pretty cool. And we do love mood for the emotional balance. The ingredients I know are very, very safe and healthy. And we definitely have deep sleep. But Jim, you saw it in the first couple.
Yeah, I saw it really quick. Real quick, guys. So can you talk to, there's some people that with the energy drink, they notice that the flavor isn't quite where they want it to be. And we mix it, or we mix the 2, and we have no issue with it. But I think after seeing this presentation and knowing the lock and key and what it's unlocking, frankly, my dear, I don't care what it tastes like, I'm going to drink it, right? But can you talk to that real quick, Henry?
Yeah, as far as the taste goes.
Some people don't like
Some
it. We
people-
love it. I've drank a lot of other stuff prior to Asea that was awful, but this is, to me, all three flavors to me taste good. But again, everybody's different. They want to maybe mix it in their juice
Yeah,
or lemonade
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
No, that's great. You bring that up. You know, I think, and obviously you can dilute it with more water. If that's what you want to do. A lot of individuals have asked, well, if I dilute it with more water, is that going to decrease its efficacy? It won't, as long as you're drinking all of it at once. I'll give you a funny story real quick. So when I was using the energy product, I gave it to my wife as a guinea pig because she's my guinea pig for everything. And she said, Henry, this energy product is not doing anything for me. And I said, what? Really? And it was because she had just been drinking a sip the first hour, a sip in 3 hours, and then a sip in 4 hours, right? And I was like, well, that's not fair. You have to take at least the whole thing, you know, within, you know, a certain amount of time frame, right? And then you're going to see those full effects. So definitely take it, you know, within the first, you know, 30 minutes or whatever. Go on, Jim, do you have a question?
Well, I was just going to ask that question. And what period of time should they be consumed?
Yeah,
Within 30 minutes, or we've heard a little bit longer?
you can do a little bit longer if you like, but just know that as you go throughout your day, if you're eating or you're drinking more water, you're going to dilute it more in your body, right? It's not going to feel as strong. And you're not going to get all the cool effects of the ingredients at once.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's awesome. Dr. Hoffman, she did a short webinar and suggested, you know, that first, like you said, 30 minutes, you're going to get that best result. But at 2 hours,
Mhm.
then the antioxidants are not going to absorb as well. That's why you don't want to sip it all day. But we kind of make it a goal. Okay, we just started it, and then we literally clock it. Okay, we need to finish this within, you know, like you said, 45. Ours is about 45 minutes.
I can tell Lee wants to ask a question.
Go for it.
Well, I was going to go back to some previous comments that were made about the synergistic, overlay of all these different products, and just point out, you know, my observations in Redox Mind with the nicotinamide mononucleotide. That is the precursor for NAD, and NAD is what activates sirtuins in the body, which is what helps protect against DNA damage. That's the DNA repair mechanism, or one of them. And when you parallel that with the redox sensitive transcription factors responsible for what's called autophagy, or the self-eating or the cleanup, you know, this is the Pac-Man cleanup process that cleans up damaged proteins and molecules in the cell. When you look at those two features, you've got one that is this redox cascading signaling, this redox sensitive process of autophagy or cellular renewal, paired with the idea that I'm putting nicotinamide mononucleotide, the NMN, and creating more NAD, which is also then setting the stage for improved DNA repair. So I'm getting the best of both worlds together as I synergistically use all of these products together. And I'm sure if we were to dig deeper into all three of these in the multiple, nutritional components of the cell performance line, and looked at the parallel redox sensitive side, the cascading side, the absorption side, you blend this all together and you've just got a home run all the way across the board. And the point is this is what differentiates us in the marketplace. And, you know, it's like there are other companies that have herbs, and some of these companies are good companies, but they can't blend it together like this and take advantage of this in a synergistic, balanced way that even in my view goes beyond reestablishing homeostasis, because it now that adaptive response is what activates the survival and the longevity genes. That's what cellular renewal is all about.
Scott, I'm really glad you're here. Can you kind of share some of your thoughts on cell performance and just everything as Asea, the company, and where we're going, and how you see this playing into what we're doing as a cellular health company?
Yeah, thanks for that question. One of the big factors behind the cell performance was we wanted something that was easy for you to hand out and to talk to people about. As we've explained tonight, the message with Asea Redox supplement can sometimes be complex. And because we talk about absorption, a lot of people don't understand what that means. When we talk about the ability for a cell or a signaling molecule to be so small that it's able to penetrate the membrane of a cell without permission, it's not a lock and key, it goes where it needs to go. Some people might not understand that. And so what we needed to do was make a very quick, easy message. Do you need more energy? Do you have problems with focus? Do you need to have a better mood and better sleep? Do you need to have a calmness in your life? And so we thought with these very simple messages, you would be able to approach people about the concept of redox signaling in a very easy way. And this will dictate the direction of our product development. Everything will be true to the redox principles that we know and love. And these products also work much better if you're taking redox cell signaling supplement. And Dr. Lee pointed that out. And so what we're doing is we're going to give you some extra tools so you can share those with people, but this will be the product development cycle going forward. The reason being is not everyone gets redox cell signaling. And so we needed a way to be able to share it very easily, very quickly, something that can be sampled that you can feel immediately. Don't drink it over 4 hours. My tip is power it down, dilute it with as minimal amount of water as you can take and drink it all at once. And that's kind of my secret when you do that. And then hydrate with water throughout. But that's how you're going to get the maximum benefit, which is different, right, than we talk about with the Asea Redox supplement. We talk about holding it in your mouth and making sure it's absorbed thoroughly as you drink it. With these cell performance products, you want to chug them very quickly, if you can. And so that's kind of our joke, is how little water we can use when we actually take them, mix them with a smoothie or something like that. We made them so they could be mixed together. We did have a very good idea when we were formulating these that they would be synergistic with each other. So they can be standalone or used together. I don't know that I would use them all three together. They might have a counterbalance when you're doing something like that. But this will dictate our product development. One of the things I wanted to point out is we at Asea, after 13 years, we have the strongest science team that we've ever had. We have the strongest medical professionals board that we've ever had. And we are telling you that we are moving forward. We're moving forward quickly. We're moving forward with all the resource that we can allocate to this. And it's something that's very important to us. If you are to see any of our 3 labs that we use here at the corporate office and at the Redox Center, we're investing heavily in additional lab testing equipment. And that's so that we can continue to push this forward in real time. We're continuing our scientific studies all over the world, and we're going to have even a heavier focus on that. It's amazing to see now universities are coming to us and wanting to be our partner and say, we actually just recently received a grant from Western Sydney University, where they asked to partner with us and said, we'll even give you a grant to do the study. And so that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a tremendous shift, and we're hoping that what you're seeing from the corporate side is a unity with corporate and field, that we become one team, seamless across all boundaries, and you have access to whatever you need. You have product questions, that's great. You have questions about our compensation plan, that's great. We're going to have a highly focused team where everybody's going to have their specialty, but you will work together as one team across all of our markets. And for those of you that are listening in North America, you have all the advantages, especially in the United States. We're all in the same time zone. You get the quickest shipping, you get easy access to multiple people across the corporate office. And more than anything, we're anxious to continue our partnership and to move this thing forward very quickly and with a single purpose of spreading the message of redox signaling around the world.
Scott, when I started this 7 years ago, I'm an ex-stockbroker, and I believed in the technology, the redox like that, because I saw what it did to me and to my best friend's son, who had a rapid recovery from a viral bug that hit him on a cruise ship. So I didn't question what was in the technology. My question was the stability of the company. You know, you don't want to get into a company or a technology that's going to all of a sudden go bye-bye. Could you talk to the new people, the people that are brand new, that really don't know what we're talking about, kind of like what Maureen said? Could you say a special message to them? And by the way, guys, next week, we do have our, what's his title? He is CEO, Chuck Funky. He will be there, because I think this is the critical part as well, is everybody that's on this screen, corporate wise, what you said is absolutely true. But can you talk to the new people that don't know any of this, and why should they be part of this company?
Yeah, I think that's a fair question. The last 2 years, especially this last year, we have had more difficult economic circumstance than most of us have seen in our lifetimes. One of the things that happens behind the scenes is, remember, we're shipping this product all over the world. We have 23 points of global distribution, and we've seen an increase of 46% globally in our transportation costs. But yet we've been able to withstand that, and we have not had a price increase. So we are a very stable company. We are very steeped in economic principle, and we have tremendous cash reserves for this company. And that's what we've been doing, so we can hold things steady as we go through very trying market times. This company was founded based on solid business principles. Those business principles were in place before the product and the distribution was set up. So it's a little different than what you would see with some of our friendly companies in our space. So all the principles were in place, the disciplines were in place, and then we had a very unique technology. I will say, from a technology standpoint, we're years ahead of what anybody is even thinking about right now. And some of the things that we operate on, and some of the things that we're trying at the Redox Center, we're so excited, we're anxious to come to work. We want to get started each and every day. So the stability of what you're looking at literally hundreds of years of combined experience in all the different disciplines that run this business. But more than anything, I think what attracts those on this call and all of us that work for the company is the ethics are impeccable. We will never put preference above principle. And although it might seem like it, we do, or don't, it doesn't always seem like it. We do take great responsibility in every decision we make in the company. And I want you to know that there's sometimes even tears shed as we strive to make sure this company is long lasting. It's a legacy company for each one of you, and for all of us, for our families, and for the generations to come. We take this very seriously, and we want you to know that if you've been looking, this is the place to be. Everything good that you've learned in your careers and in your lives, bring with us. If there's anything bad, don't bring that. But anything that's good, join with us and lock arms, and let's work this together. But very stable company. We live the legacy that Vertus Norton brought to this company each and every day, and we're 100% committed to what we do.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Scott.
I was going to say, I'm excited about the two Redox Technologies companies that you partnered with now, that's on the back of the bottle. When I got my last shipment, I was like, hey, these two, so that's super exciting. The new news.
Yeah, new testing labs for us. They also are doing some of our scientific studies. So
That's
going to a
wonderful.
much deeper level than we've ever gone before.
That's
Cool.
awesome.
I like that. We've only got like a couple minutes left. I'd love to hear from our other guests, with Kurt and Hunter and Andrea and Henry. What are you guys excited about? What are you excited about with with what we're doing?
Can I start?
No.
Yes. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Well, what I love the most about this company, of course, is the science behind the product. Because I can rely on the products, I can take them, and I'm very confident taking the products because I know the effects. I know that it will be good for me, and because it's backed by science. And also on the top of it, working at Asea, the environment, my coworkers, they're awesome. So the,
Thank
in the
you.
products, they are amazing. They are amazing. And Henry is a mastermind on this.
Awesome.
Hunter?
There's a whole lot to be excited about at Asea. What we showed today is really just the tip of the iceberg. We have so many advancements. Scott's kind of touched on it briefly, is we are truly years ahead of anybody who wants to compete in this space from a manufacturing standpoint, from a purity standpoint, from a quality, our testing, our capacity. Everything is absolutely years ahead of anybody who wants to compete in this space. And to be really digging into redox as a science and understanding it at a very deep level. Every advancement that we get is very exciting to me. It's exciting that we are part of an organization that invests in science, and that these products are all derivatives or outcomes of that investment in science. And so what we presented today was hopefully a good tip of the iceberg to kind of show what we've been working on. But it really is really impressive how invested the organization is, not only from a principal standpoint, but a financial standpoint as well. We invest a lot of money and time and resources into these advancements to make sure we truly are the leaders in the redox space.
Thank you, Hunter. Kurt?
Yeah, I'll echo what Andrea said. This is just it's almost like a family here. It's a great company to work for, a lot of good people. And we just continue to advance the science. We've got some new products coming in the pipeline that we really haven't talked about yet, but they're there.
You can go ahead and tell us. We won't tell anybody. Hey, that's not fair, guys, doing that. Come on, Scott. Give them the okay. We won't tell anybody. Okay, go ahead, Kurt. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just incredible. I mean, every time we think, like I said, the purities of the products, the way we manufacture, the support from management that we get, just to continue to keep learning and improving on everything that we do.
That's great.
Cool,
We
thank you.
appreciate you bringing
Yeah.
Omega and all that you did to bring that. It's one of our favorites as well.
Henry, wrap it up.
All right.
Then I have Maureen and Lee I want to throw them because they're part of the medical advisory board. I kind of want to hear what they have to say as the last comments. Henry, go ahead, please.
Well, just going to Punta Cana just barely and being able to spend time with you, not just you, Jim, but I'm just saying in general with everyone. It really allowed me, it recharged my battery. I came out of that really hopeful for the future, because there are amazing people who genuinely care about others. And to see the testimonies from you guys about how it changed your life, not only financially, but your health, that just made me seem that, this is where I want to be. And I'm excited to continue helping, any way I can to better your lives. And that's what I'm excited for.
That's awesome. Maureen or Lee, how does this all make? I mean, this gives me so many warm fuzzies. It's crazy. And getting to talk to you guys individually like this. But Lee, as a medical expert, how does all this make you feel?
An author.
Well, this has been a great ride. And as I was sitting listening to this presentation, and you see all these faces on the screen, I hope that everybody who's watching this now or, on rewind later appreciates the significant investment that is represented here. I don't know the number of years behind all this, but, I've often thought of, if you could think about human health from the standpoint of if you could ever find, that fabled fountain of youth, this thing we've been searching for centuries, on this planet. If ever you could find the secret to what makes cells work and make them work better, you're looking at the brilliant minds, here and many behind the scenes. who have, I don't call it the fountain of youth, although maybe in the future we might be angling that. I call it the fountain of health. Because we really have something here that is unprecedented. You know, we use the word breakthrough, and it's kind of we don't appreciate what that really means. This is truly a breakthrough when we can tap into the cell. And I'm for one so thankful for all the principals and the managers and the employees who, there's hundreds of them behind the screen that support these wonderful people here. Who make it possible for me and my wife and my friends and those patients who I work with now and in the future obtain a level of foundational health and support that otherwise, I'm not going to say it's ever impossible, but this is like the fountain of health. And so I hope everybody appreciates that. And those who are just listening for the first time, come join us. Really dig in. There's some great websites and great materials and information that you can go as deep as you want and just get going and join with us.
Yes.
Thank you, Lee. Maureen?
I have to follow the poet. I just want to say I almost missed this. I've been involved. I'm coming up on my 10-year anniversary after Thanksgiving of this year. Will be 10 years. And I didn't want to get involved. I didn't have any faith in the product because I thought it sounded ridiculous. Salt water from Salt Lake City. We live on an island. We're surrounded by salt water. I didn't see a need to pay for it. But thank God that we did, because my husband had a huge health challenge that he's now in really good health. If you saw him, you'd never know that he struggled the way he did. And we've been able to help so many other people just have a better quality of health and a better quality of life. And I just thank God every day that I did listen, I did try it, and made the decision that this is what I wanted to share and where I wanted to hang my hat and make this my mission and my career. So it's been a blessing. So thank you guys for coming on.
Y'all are
Hey,
wonderful.
Maureen, I just want to add one thing real quick, guys, because I'm an ex-stockbroker. I got my life back. I've had 10 back surgeries. I was addicted to all the pain pills. But when my best friend was sharing this with me, who's a banker and his wife's a youth pastor, there was one thought in my head that if this stuff is real, this is what I've been waiting for my whole life as an opportunity. See, I needed my health back, but I also needed the financial blessing. And so, Mr. Aldridge, I can't thank you enough for everything what you have put together for us, for the world. It's your leadership and those that are couple people above you. But I just want to say thank you, because we have a company of such integrity, and that's what came across to me tonight is we have all the science, but we have the people. And with the people behind this and the company behind it, we know we've got something that's a legacy that I don't need to worry about whether it's going to go away or not. It may be tweaked here and there and new things coming out for cellular, for our body's health. But guys, I just want to thank you. And we do this every Friday night to be able to pass on and to share the blessings. We do this for you to bring other people to come here and listen to this. This is the kind of stuff that'll change your life. So guys, I can't thank you enough. Mr. Henry, this was awesome. Hunter, thank you. Kurt and Andrea, and obviously Scott Aldridge. Maureen and Lee, thank you. So we'll have this video up and running on Redox Matters. It'll be up in about an hour. Send this out. Let people hear the heart of what's going on here. And I pray that people join. Everybody needs the technology, but there are going to be people out there that also need the financial blessing. So guys, thank you. God bless.
Have a great weekend.
We'll see you next week. And again, we have a phenomenal guest next week. If you want to have a couple of laughs and if you want to see, just come next week. So thank you guys. God bless.
Bye, y'all. Enjoy your weekend.